middle-aged men in Cleveland.
Who are you talking to? What is this?
Know.
What's going on?
It's been a bit. I didn't know if we'd be doing this again, to be honest with you.
It seems odd.
Ted Klopp, Ken Dworsnik. I guess you could say we're back in the saddle. I mean, I thought the saddle was gone, frankly.
Right, well,
no horse.
Yeah.
I thought we were just out to pasture, frankly. How many more horse references could I make?
I don't know, but we're going to keep track.
Well, this was 8 months in the making. Gosh, you look great. Did you get new glasses, by the way?
Since the last time we did a show, probably, yeah.
You look great.
Yeah,
I like it.
You look fabulous.
Yep. Fat and happy. That's the only way to be.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, obviously what people probably want to know, what the heck have you guys been doing?
Yeah, what the heck happened?
Months with no show. I've been asked by many people, and I know you have too. So we really don't have an answer. I mean, I will say from my perspective, it's not like we were fighting. We've never really done that. I think it's just life. Frankly, with having small children and events, I think that was the main thing, and different things with work. I think that's the answer.
Yeah. All good things, but things that take up time. Kids,
that's 100%.
Work, things like that. But we kind of we had lunch at a fine high-end dining establishment a week or two ago, and we said let's try this. Let's try to do this some more.
Let's get it going.
So here we are.
I mean, nothing says let's get the podcast going after you have the healthy breakfast at Danny's Deli. I'll tell you that right now.
Or a Georgie burger.
Oh, that's the one. That'll do it for you.
What is it? Swiss cheese, salami, and a burger? That sounds... Or no, it's corned beef.
Corned beef, yeah.
It's every bit as healthy as you can imagine.
And still as good as ever.
Which leads me to a quick story. So in the time that we've been gone, we took a vacation over spring break to Fort Walton, Florida. And shortly before that, I had a doctor's appointment. And I don't know how this came up, but we're on vacation. And I mentioned to my family, including my kids, I said, that my doctor weighed me. And my quote was that I am now 200. I've never weighed this much. I'm now 212 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. And my wife shook her head. My 13-year-old now says, Dad, you're 212 pounds of twisted steel. My 12-year-old will say, Dad, you're 212 pounds of twisted steel and something appeal. You can't say that other word. And my 11-year-old will look you square in the eye and say, I'm 85 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. No, sexiness. So
I love it.
Yeah, how about that?
I would concur. Well, as we get to that age, and you and I talked about this when we were having our wonderful breakfast at Danny's Deli.
We were discussing whether or not we were healthy enough to continue doing the podcast.
Pretty much. That was part of it. Also, we're not going to look like we did when we were younger. Unfortunately, it's just how it works. So I always have these aspirations. I'm going to lose 25 pounds, 30 pounds. Yeah, I do need to lose some weight, but I'm not going to look the way I did when I was 22 years old. Let's just be honest. It's not going to happen.
So. I think I'm due in about 3 months.
Well, I look like I swallowed a cannonball, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, classic stuff. Well, we have a lot to catch up on. I'll actually have my more information during my out and about segment. We have a couple different things that we actually did together that I'd like to talk about later. But on this show, and first of all, to let everyone know, our plan of attack is to probably post once a month. That's what we're looking at right now. I think that seems really fair.
Is it? Should we run well, you probably already looked. Do you know when the last show was?
I want to say I think it was September, beginning of September, I believe.
That's right. September 3rd.
Okay.
But, we need to be a little more frequent than.
I would say that's the case.
By the way, congratulations to the man affectionately known on this show as Big Voice Jay. Big Voice Jay, Jay Pappas, the first recipient of the Richard D. Leidy Award at Ashland University for contributions to the radio TV program. Could not be a more fitting recipient. And we were both honored to be there when he received that award. Ken did the induction, and I just read some people who were part of the, they made the donation to get him in.
Yes, you did. You did a fine job. And you read the sponsors from when we did WRDL, which was absolutely outstanding. You were by far, obviously, everyone had a huge kick out of Jay, and Jay was wonderful. It's great to see him. Man doesn't age.
No,
he doesn't age. He looks the same.
I don't know how he does that.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. I look like I'm about 85. But no, it was a great day, hanging out with a bunch of different people. There's a good amount of alums that came. But I will say this. I'm not just saying this because it's our podcast. The part that everyone talks about is your involvement with the speech. They just thought that was the greatest thing ever. I had lunch with one of the president of the Alumni Association not too long ago, and she said, yeah, your speech was good. But man, that stuff that Ted did, that was really, really good. So kudos to you, sir.
Yeah.
You pulled it off very well.
I know how to
got plenty of laughs, which was the goal. So
I know how to transcribe a cassette, baby.
I think my favorite part, and I think many people listening will remember when
we get to King Lanes,
King Lanes,
Claremont Avenue, your full-service bowling center featuring 36 lanes. It's now a bus garage. King Lanes Ashland open 7 days a week.
So well done.
So for those who weren't there or maybe don't know, so Ken does the induction ceremony. So we pulled. Jay was the coordinator of radio at Ashland University. And when we would do sports broadcasts, which Ken and I, oddly enough, both did quite a few of, we would have to have the sponsors read. And Jay had a recording of the sponsors. Well, not that I'm a pack rat, but I still have a cassette or two from those. And they never changed. Never. And so I transcribed the sponsors. So Ken was doing his induction, and all of a sudden he puts his hand to his ear and he says, "Wait a minute, hold on. I'm getting a message here. I'm told that we need to pause. There's some people we need to recognize. Can someone help me out with this?" And we had talked about this ahead of time. I had a wireless microphone, stood up in the middle of the audience and read the sponsors twice.
I'll be honest with you, I think that was probably the part that was just great because nobody knew this was happening.
Nope.
And you just rose up, grabbed the mic, and just started going into it. And I think it was great because nobody saw that coming. And, and in all actuality, I was given a script. I didn't use any of that script. I'm going to be honest with you. I went rogue. So there was no swearing. Everything was appropriate and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, this is what we're doing. And it worked out well. So fun times.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to recognize people that mean a lot to your life as we get older, Ted. That's super important. And Jay, for many different reasons, was not as close to the university. And we don't need to talk about why. But it was nice that he came back and reconnected with so many people and that we had the opportunity to congratulate him and thank him for all the different things that he's done for us and for many different reasons. Many of the things that he taught us when it came to announcing and radio and television and all that kind of stuff, we use some of those things today. How we speak to people, all that stuff. So it was nice to kind of just shake somebody's hand and say, "Jay, thanks for everything, and we really appreciate it." And it was really cool.
And Jay even talked about being able to come back after all the years that he's, was elsewhere in the university and then retired out to Maine. It was, I believe he described it as a healing process to come back and see what's going on. So that was great.
Yeah. And I know everyone, and once again, I will not take any credit for this. everyone that was involved with, bringing him back and the awards assembly. Both of his daughters came up to me afterwards and said, "Hey, this is really great. We really appreciate what you guys did." And I thought that was nice because when you hear that from the family, his wife was teary-eyed and all that. It's like, okay, we did a good job with this. I felt very good about that. So kudos to Jay, and obviously it's going to be a day I will not forget anytime soon.
And
so,
kudos to you as well, obviously.
I did something. I stood up there and did my best.
Well, speaking of doing something, let's do something here.
Love it.
And now, a woman's perspective.
What's the difference between Bigfoot and an intelligent man? Easy. A Bigfoot has been spotted several times.
This has been a woman's perspective.
Ted, it's been a while, but we have an overachiever. It's not you.
No.
But an Iowa museum owner thinks she broke a Guinness World Record. We're back to that again. Always a Guinness World Record for her collection of 38,162 spoons. That's right. I said it correctly. Cami Pohl, owner of the Mississippi Spoon Gallery, got about 24 volunteers to spend more than 5 hours cataloging her entire inventory. I bet you that was an amazing time.
Oh, yeah.
The current record for the largest collection of spoons is held by an Australian man with 30,000 teaspoons. Pohl notes that her collection has more variety with teaspoons, salt spoons, mustard spoons, and gilded aged spoons.
Do you, can you imagine that conversation? Hey, I could use some help over here. You want to come over? Oh, yeah. What do you need help with? I need you to help me catalog my spoons.
The only thing I come close to is during a Browns game once in a while when the game's that bad, I take my silverware drawer and take everything out and put it back in to organize it. So
Right.
That's the closest I get.
Yeah. I don't have 100 spoons.
I don't know why you would need 100 spoons.
No, I don't either.
Well, obviously this is collector.
Yeah. Something fascinating about spoons.
I think she's got a good shot of hanging on to this record.
I think she'll have it. Yes.
Ted, that's our overachiever. Hats off to Cami Pohl.
The most trusted name in journalism, Klopp's Clips.
Oh, Ken, we can't do a show without this segment. Here we go. Start right off. A uniquely shaped Cheeto has sold at auction for more than $87,000. Golden Auction House offered the 3-inch long Flamin' Hot Cheeto in the shape of the Pokemon Charizard. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Charizard.
I don't know what that is.
It's been stored in a clear card storage box for about 5 years. There were 60 bids. Winning bid $87,840.
Oh my gosh. And it wasn't formed this way, it just was in the shape of this, correct?
I guess
Wow.
it when they, random thing, it turned out that way, and I don't know. I can think of a lot of better things to spend $87,000.
Yes.
So
I think you could get a Bugatti, couldn't you? Get a nice car,
I would hope so.
get yourself a nice vehicle.
Yeah. I had Bugatti once, but I put some ointment on it, went right away.
I was going to say, you never want that.
Cops in Florida say a guy visited a Tiffany & Company to apparently negotiate on behalf of an Orlando Magic player. This already sounds fishy. The guy was shown a diamond ring and earrings valued at about $750,000. He grabbed the stuff and shoved his way out of the store. Police found his getaway car, arrested him, but in the process, he apparently swallowed the jewelry. A body scan shows foreign objects in his body that will need to be analyzed when they come out.
Oh boy.
Suspect Jathan Gilder reportedly asked investigators if he would be charged with what is in his stomach.
I think I might do what he's doing, to be honest with you. Why would I not say, hey, I'm here to shop for Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah.
Let me see what your best stuff is, and then run around and then swallow it. I
Yeah.
think that sounds like a really good time.
Well, not for nothing, but it wasn't Donovan Mitchell's fault, but Max Strus probably would have thrown the stuff to the police. Elsewhere, a man in Florida apparently stole a bunch of stuff from a supermarket in Highlands County. Police showed up and the man took off in his car. Cops gave chase, and it was at that point that Richard Smith supposedly held a can of Kettle One vodka spritz out the window as he drove by a deputy trying to get him to stop, telling the deputy, quote, "I was just going to give you a drink." Smith was arrested a few minutes later, but not before he asked deputies, "You guys had fun though, right?"
You guys had fun.
Yeah. That's what it's
Dick
all about.
Smith tried, but wasn't successful for him.
Yeah, having fun.
Good for him.
Oh my, I'll drink to that. I'm Ted Klopp. That's news to me.
Ted, a segment I really didn't know if I was going to be doing this again. Out and about Northeast Ohio. I mean, I don't have. If you want me to go through 8 months of stuff,
That's a lot.
This is going to be a long show.
I know of one highlight that you and I both experienced together.
Okay.
The Cleveland Charge game.
Oh, that's right. We can talk some char. Okay, I'll do that. It'll be in the mix. So, through work with the company I'm working with right now, I had the opportunity to go to Anaheim, where I actually saw the Anaheim Ducks play, which was cool. I
Wow.
went to Washington, D.C. for a week. Boy, what an interesting place that is, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but man, you really got to watch where the heck you're going. That
Oh
is,
yeah.
very interesting. And the traffic, it's insane. It really, I mean, it is probably the busiest place I've seen in a long time, besides New York and Chicago and all that kind of stuff. So those are the two highlights of trips outside the area. Locally, we'll talk some Charge. I have become a huge fan of the Charge. So I got tickets this past year. There was a small ticket package that I was offered through the Charge, and I went to a couple different games and all that. I think it's awesome because of where they play. They play at Public Hall, which I think is absolutely one of the coolest venues that you can have. I really think it's awesome.
100%.
It's really neat. One of the games I went to wasn't the game I went to with you. They did have a power issue where they lost power for 3 hours, but we're not going to talk about that. That's something for a different day. I wasn't complaining though, because when that happened, they just kept serving us drinks. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
John Scrata, remember John Scrata?
I do remember John Scrata.
John works and basically helps televise their games. So on the big screen and all that kind of stuff with
Okay.
with this company. So I had an opportunity to see him there. But yes, we actually were both at a Charge game on a Sunday. You took the family,
Yes.
and actually it was a great time. I think the
Yep.
Charge actually lost the game, if I'm
They
not
did.
mistaken. But it was mascot game.
Couldn't pick a better day to bring the family.
That was outstanding. And I was with a couple different people who are connected to Padua. And actually the Padua mascots were there.
Oh.
Brother and sister. Yes. They're one of the few high schools that have actually two mascots.
Huh.
They were there taking pictures along with Akron Zips, and the Kent State Flash was there. They also had the
Lake Erie
The
Crush
monster.
guy.
yep, Sully. Sully was there. So it was fun. We had a great time.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
venue, great game. I obviously I imagine your kids had a good time.
Oh,
right?
they loved it. They loved the I don't think they, I mean, they're 10 years old. I don't think they really appreciate the venue. They're just watching a basketball game, but seats are good. Concessions were not too long. Can't
Yeah.
say the same for the Wolstein Center.
Yes.
And that, I mean, the Cavs do it right. I mean, they bring in that giant hanging television so you can see everything that's going on. It's awesome. And the charge did some giveaways. The line, now I guess it didn't take that long, but the line for the giveaway it went from one ramp across the lobby and up the other ramp. But I guess it moved quick. And when I wasn't going to stand in the line, my youngest son conned my wife into standing in line with him because you got to have the free stuff.
Yes.
They gave her some extra free stuff. So that was cool.
That is awesome. No, they really cater to kids. I went to 4 games this past year, I think, and then I got a small season ticket package for next year. I just think it's great. My kids enjoy it. I've taken different people there. I mean, it's very well done. So if you have the opportunity to check out a charge game, I highly recommend that. I really do.
One other athletic event. You didn't go to this, but I sent you a picture. We went to the, I guess it's the MISL semifinals at the Wolstein Center. That's the indoor soccer for the Crunch. And that was a good time. I'm sorry. I don't care for the facility, but as far as the entertainment value of the game and whatnot, that was great. A lot of fun.
Sure. Yeah, they're getting a lot of pub. They actually played a lot of their games in North Olmsted.
Yep.
The Soccerplex there. They have the soccer facility there. So they played a lot of their games, but it was nice that they played their games a little bit bigger venue. I'm right with you. I'm a big Cleveland State Vikings fan. I like the team. They had another great season. I had the opportunity to go to a game this year. There was no one there. I just, and the venue itself it's outdated. It's not fan friendly. I'll be honest with you. They would do themselves so much better if somehow they could play their games at Public Hall. I'm serious about that. I mean, it would be way different, but I don't think they could set something like that up. There was talks of doing something different with that venue at some point in time, but just like many other colleges right now, they're struggling with money. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, that facility, it's seen its better days.
My two main complaints, the concession line is obnoxiously long anytime I've been there. And I would suggest I am of average height. Maybe I have a little longer legs, but whatever.
You do have nice long legs. I've noticed that.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
The leg room for the seats in there is just awful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody taller than me having any semblance of an enjoyable time given the way the seats are configured.
Yeah. I don't know. They have their team has been consistently very good. I mean, not amazing national championship, but right there in the conference, play very well. Their women's team is also very good. They went to the NCAA tournament this past year, and they just cannot get people to go to those games.
Yeah.
They have to figure something else out.
Well, I don't want to rag on downtown Cleveland, but it's not exactly the safest place or easiest to get to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's not a ton around it, to be honest with you. I mean, there's places you can go, but it's a little bit of a distance. So, I think there's some talks and plans of doing some different things. I just don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I will say this on a positive note, as we're talking about out and about. The whole thing that they did with the parking meters, and they put the little sticker on there,
QR
and then you
codes.
can scan it in.
Yep.
Let me just tell you, outstanding.
Yeah.
Mayor Bibb, hats off to you. I went and visited you not that long ago when we had our lunch at Danny's Deli. I parked across the street. In the past, I would have to rip out quarters. Not this time. I scanned a thing. It cost me $3, which once again, people don't realize how cheap it is to park in downtown Cleveland. It cost me $3 for 3 hours to park at that meter, and I didn't have to worry about cash. Thank you very much. So everyone gets their money.
Yeah.
And the city of Cleveland gets their money. I don't have to sit there.
cash.
Right. You don't have to worry about panhandlers anymore because there's no money being exchanged. Very well done. And it's been all over the city. I think it's great. This is something that needed to happen in a long time, and they didn't have to change the infrastructure or put up different meters. They just put a sticker on it and you scan it and you go from there. Hats off. Well done. Absolutely well done.
Kind of like this segment. Well
Yes.
done.
Sad that we were out and about. We were loving it.
Oh no, not a dad joke.
Ken, I used to hate facial hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then it grew on me.
That joke was horrible.
Coming to the end of episode number 140, a mere 8 months after doing episode 139 of Two Middle-Aged Men in Cleveland. And I don't know, it's like riding a bike. You never really forget how to do this, do you?
No, absolutely not. And I didn't realize it was 140. Gosh,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's
Have you gone back and listened to any of these podcasts?
Oh, every one. I've transcribed them all.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually handwritten each of them so I can have that personal transcript. I didn't want to put it on computer. I was worried somebody's going to steal our ideas.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Because they're so good, right?
100% correct. Well, once again, I think my biggest audience usually is people that are drunk or high. I mean,
Well,
that's been like that for a long time, and they kind of stumble upon it. So
Yeah, you, me, and Bruce Drennan. Hey, we didn't do any jersey numbers. Did
No,
we?
we did. No, we did. No, we did. Do you have any jersey numbers you can think of for 40?
Boy, yeah.
Poor Bruce. He just gets made fun of all the time. Oh, for God's sake, that's another
When is
show.
that
for another day.
Dak Prescott trade happening?
No.
Okay, we're doing jersey
Jeez.
number 40, right?
Yeah, 40.
I got, let's see, I can come up with two off the top of my head. One for the Browns and one for the Indians.
Okay.
The Browns, Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, well done. That's a good one.
Okay.
Excellent.
And for the Indians, I don't know if he's the best one to ever wear 40. He's the only one I can think of, but he's a pretty good player. Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon is a really good one. That's excellent.
Yeah.
You want me to read off a couple of the other ones?
Yeah, sure. I can't think
For the
of
Indians,
any,
Guardians.
I can't think of any Cavs that have worn 40.
No, that nothing comes across.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Newman. Remember Johnny Newman?
Oh, yeah.
He was 40. Well, let's go with the big. Jim Hegan wore 40 one year in
Oh.
1942. Ken Harrelson.
The Hawk.
Yep. Rick Wise, John Denny. Ernie Camacho wore some 40. How about that?
Wow.
Macho Camacho. Bud Black.
Oh, yeah.
Bud Black, that's a good one. He wore it a couple different times. Eric King, remember him?
No, but I could hum a few bars.
Billy Traber. Kelly Shopik. I know that was one of your favorite players.
Oh.
Bobby Bradley. He had a short stint.
Okay.
Harold Ramirez, Wilson Ramos, and Ronaldo Lopez. Most recently, no one has jumped.
Wait a minute.
on 40.
Ronaldo wears number 40?
Well, he did. It didn't. He didn't do it last year.
Oh, okay. Since the soccer guy?
No. Yes.
Yeah,
That's the soccer
okay.
guy. Yes.
Okay.
He plays for the Guardians.
Yeah. Okay. This is before he hit it big in soccer.
That's what he figured. He didn't want to make that much money,
Okay.
so he figured to just try out with the Guardians.
Any other Browns wear 40?
I could look at that. Hold on.
No, I didn't
Boy,
mean
people
to
are
catch you
super
off
excited
guard
about
there.
this.
Yeah. Just, I figured you knew all these. I didn't think you needed notes for this. You just know all this
Oh, off
stuff.
the top of my head? Oh,
Yeah,
of course,
absolutely.
'cause I'm a genius, you know.
Yes,
I certainly
that's
don't
what I
know.
was thinking.
Good thing you edit this, huh?
Huh?
Yeah, good thing you edit this.
Yeah.
Who were 40 the best?
Okay, so apparently there are no other number 40s.
No, there is. Hold on.
Oh, Mike Oliphant.
No.
No.
Jim Daniel. Do you know Jim Daniel?
No, guy with two
Jim
first
Shorter.
names. Who?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dub Jones. Dub, not Doug. Dub Jones.
Dub Jones.
Rick Barnes. Do you know Rick Barnes?
No,
Okay.
I know Jim Barnes.
Tariq Salah.
Oh, yeah,
Remember him?
linebacker,
2000.
special teamer.
Yep. Howard Cassidy.
Howard Cassidy. that it?
Preston Powell. No, there's more.
Oh,
Prentice Gaunt. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. These are
Preston Anderson.
okay.
Preston Carpenter. So if your name is Preston, you wore number 40.
I'm starting to understand why the number 40 is not in the Ring of Honor.
Rod Perry.
Uh-huh.
And then Tom London.
Oh,
Those are the 40s.
okay. Well, thank
Nice
you.
job.
Thank you.
I'm
So we're
not
going
going
to try
to
to do this
chaos.
again in a couple of weeks, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So set your alarms and
All you have to do is follow us,
right.
follow us
right.
and it'll pop right up there. As I think many people, once this drops, are going to be super surprised. They're like, no, there's no way these guys are doing this again.
This is just a repeat.
Wow. Well, I
They're
thought it would be a
the
good
best
idea
of.
for us.
They're
I thought
going
it'd
to
be a
think
good
it's
idea for us to continue considering the Press Play podcast folks
yeah, they're done.
they're in Operation Shutdown. They've been Derek Belled.
This could be a best of, but then when they see that it's like a half hour, they can say they don't have enough content for
Best has
hour.
never been associated with our podcast. Nothing. No one ever says best.
No.
So, well, nice work. Thanks for all the time and effort you put into this today. I did probably nothing. I still feel like I did nothing. And more than likely, if the next podcast we have, my contribution will be nothing. But
Okay.
Ted, thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see. Good to be seen.
We'll be rocking on. And in case anyone has forgotten after being gone for 8 months, just a reminder, we're two middle-aged men in Cleveland.
Two Middle-Aged Men in Cleveland is sponsored by Westminster AV, custom audio-visual packages for all occasions.
I'm now 212 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.